On behalf of the University of the Delta Regional Authority and the Office of Governor Jay Nixon and ACCION, Texas, I'd like to thank the Chamber for letting us have this time to have an opportunity to tell you about a very important development, economic development piece for Southeast Missouri region and beyond. The Board of Regents for many years been instrumental in forging cooperative arrangements and partnerships, as you know. If you look at the Show Me Center, the regional campuses in Sikeston and Malden and Kennett and Perryville, and of course the River Campus, we love doing partnerships. And today we're going to be able to tell you about a partnership that's going to be, I think, very, very important to our region. Our university, especially Dr. James Stapleton and the staff of the Douglas C. Green Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship have diligently worked to bring about this regional collaboration, and it's to provide important resources to play a role in improving the quality of lives here in Southeast Missouri and further south. These partnerships and collaborations all have one thing in common. They show the university's commitment to significantly contribute to the economic strength of our region. So I'm honored to introduce to you those individuals who are going to explain this new collaboration. But before I do that, I would like to recognize just a couple people here, and I'd like for you to, if you would, if they would stand when I read their names, and if you would hold your applause to the end, I'd appreciate it. First of all, as you know, the Board of Regents sets policy for the university, and they put a lot of hours and effort in doing that. And we have two regents with us, the Vice President of the Board, Alice Bradley. Would you stand now? And Jim Limbaugh. Where I saw Jim, there he is. Would you give them a round of applause, please? I know the governor wanted to be here, but he was unable to do that, and he has a designee for the Delta Regional Authority activities, and Bill Ransdell is here, and if you'd stand, Bill. He's the designated principal assistant for the Missouri Department of Economic Development. Bill Vickery, area manager for the Small Business Administration. Where are you, Bill? There you go. And another individual who I call Mayor Emeritus of Sikeston, because he was the mayor when we did the regional campus addition in Sikeston. We owe a lot to him. Mike Marshall from Sikeston, and he's the alternate federal co-chairman of the Delta Regional Authority. Would you give them all a round of applause? Sitting on the platform today to provide the information about this announcement is Dr. James Stapleton, Executive Director of the Donald C. Green Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and an Associate Professor of Management in the Donald L. Harrison College of Business. And Janie Barrera, President and CEO of ACCION, Texas, and both will be introduced more fully in a few minutes. So now it's my distinct pleasure to introduce the first speaker. Christopher Massengill, the federal co-chairman and more descriptively the CEO of the Delta Regional Authority, is here with us today. Chris was nominated by President Obama on April the 22nd, 2010, and confirmed by the Senate to be the federal co-chair of DRA on June 24th, 2010. Prior to his appointment to the DRA, Chris served as Arkansas Governor Mike Beebe's Recovery Implementation Director for the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, as well as the Director of Intergovernmental Affairs, which acts as the official liaison between the Governor's Office and the federal delegation, federal agencies, and the National Governors Association. Will you please welcome Chris Massengill. Chris.
Good morning. Good morning. Mr. President, thank you very much for that introduction. It is very exciting to be here this morning, and there is a lot of good stuff going on, and I tell you, this region is very lucky. You all are represented by a Congresswoman who is a tireless advocate for this area in this region and a strong supporter of the Delta Regional Authority. And Congresswoman, I know you've got your hands full, and God love you for doing it, because it is a tough, challenging time in D.C., and I'm so glad that you're there. And know on behalf of the Delta Regional Authority, we appreciate your support and advocacy for us, and we don't have a stronger advocate in the United States Congress if it hadn't been for you. Thank you. Ken's already said hello and pointed out a couple of very important people to me and what we do. It's very important. Obviously, Governor Nixon happens to be the state's co-chair for the Delta Regional Authority, and that is a very important partnership because I'm one side, I represent that ugly, bad federal government, and then the governor represents all the governors of the 8 states that comprise the Delta Regional Authority, and we can't do it without that active participation. And Bill Ransdell, he's no stranger to this area. He's been a long-time leader in the legislature here in Missouri, and in fact, for a long time, controlled a lot of those purse strings as chair of the Appropriations Committee, and he knows full well the importance of growing businesses and the impact that this economy has in this part of the region. It's very important. Bill, thank you for coming, and tell the governor thank you. Thank you very much. And then Mike Marshall, a former mayor of Sikeston, Ken pointed out, but the president appointed him to be my sidekick. He keeps me on track. And in fact, one of the reasons that we focus so much on small business development and business development in general and entrepreneurship is because of the experience that Mike brought to the table. We have 4 congressional mandates at the Delta Regional Authority: basic public infrastructure, transportation, workforce education, and business development and entrepreneurship. And so when Mike and I took over the Delta Regional Authority, we saw very quickly that for a long time, in the 10 years that we've been around, we need to do more on the entrepreneur side and the business development. So we've set out together with the help of Governor Nixon to make sure that the Delta Regional Authority does its part to continue to put a focus on it, because this is a room that I don't need to tell you. In fact, I need to be saying thank you. I need to be saying thank you for the jobs that you create in this region, because Cape and Cape County and the Boot Heel of Missouri is an economic hub and engine for the entire region. What happens in Cape Girardeau, Mayor, is important for Sikeston. And what happens in Sikeston is important for Memphis. And what happens in Memphis is important in New Orleans, which makes up all of the Delta Regional Authority footprint. And your participation and engagement in programs like this is very impressive. I can tell you, after being on the job now a year and traveling the 252 counties and parishes that make up the DRA, there are a lot of very, very struggling challenges. But there are some great bright spots too. And that's why I think over the course of my year, Mike, and in fact, I think I was telling Ken and James this last night, I think I have spent more time in the upper part of our region in the year that I've been here, Congresswoman, than anywhere else in the region. I feel like I should start paying taxes here, Mayor. Which is probably a good thing. But that's okay, because there's a lot of good stuff going on. You all have done a great job of showing some vision and leadership with the things that you're doing. And John, you run a great program here at the Chamber. This is very encouraging. This is very exciting. I wish many of our communities could emulate what you're doing here, and it is great stuff. And that's why we've teamed up with James and what he does. And I tell you, the key part of that is the vision and the leadership of this institution to allow James and his people to do what they do best. You know, Dr. Dobbins, he has an educational mission, and it's very important. And you're successful at that. But he also has the vision to hire people like Dr. Stapleton to come in and to expand that footprint, to go into collaborations and partnerships that we're fixing to announce here in just a little bit, because it's so important. You know, and the Congresswoman knows this full well. She fights for it on a daily basis. We don't have to come up with a lot of schemes, a lot of new programs, and these big ideas when we talk about infusing the economy and moving our area forward, because it's right here in front of us. When you invest in businesses, and you invest in small businesses and create an environment where entrepreneurs can grow and be successful, that is the quickest and strongest way to help our economy and our communities more than anything that government can do. Government does not create jobs. You all create these jobs. We know that 95% of all the private sector jobs that are created in the Delta Regional Authority footprint come from small firms. In fact, I'm sure you've heard this figure that the Kauffman Foundation says over the last 30 years, all new net jobs that have been created come from firms that have been around less than 5 years. We need to never forget the importance of making sure that we're growing our business community and supporting the endeavors to make them successful. Because when business is successful, America is successful. And my role here today is really the good stuff. I get to tell you that today is the official announcement of a collaboration between the nation's largest micro lender an institution that Dobbins is in charge of, and the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship that Dr. James Stapleton leads, to come together to provide additional capital, additional resources, additional technical capacity training because of the programs that they do in the nation's largest microlender with ACCION, Texas. And they've already been in our footprint. They operate in Louisiana right now. And the great thing about what we're fixing to do here, and we're playing a very small role. So let me just be very clear of that up front. The real leadership and the genius behind this is with Janie and her team and Dr. Stapleton. Putting this deal together so we can increase the footprint of ACCION, Texas, now, which will be referred to as ACCION Delta, to expand their ability to give access to our entrepreneurs to have capital in non-traditional ways. Individuals that sometimes may not meet the mark for our traditional commercial lending sources. But to come together, provide that delivery of microloans to the smallest of the small businesses in our region. This is an awesome opportunity for our people. And the partnership that they are doing, this is the beginning. They're going to be housed here on the university. They're going to serve the entire region. And my goal, and Mike's goal, and the governor's goal, before we're finished, I want an ACCION Delta location in every state in our region. So we're putting more resources on the table, providing more access to capital so our small businesses and entrepreneurs can grow and be successful. The program that Dr. Stapleton runs is one of the most successful technical business training programs in the country. It was one of the only ones in the entire country that had received 2 SBA funding grants. And Bill, thank you for what you do. And that partnership is very important. And we're actually on the verge right now of closing an MOU with the Small Business Administration so we can do even more to expand opportunities for our businesses in our region. This is a great day. This is a super day for the Delta Regional Authority. But let me say thank you, Dr. Stapleton, Janie, Dr. Dobbins, for your leadership, that partnership. And I know you're going to get into a lot of the technical pieces, but we are just so thankful to play a small role. And we're just getting started. We're about to double down and keep on moving forward because now is not the time to stop. There's too many things we've got to accomplish. And so today is the official announcement of that collaboration and that partnership between ACCION, Texas, the university, the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and the Delta Regional Authority. And now I'm supposed to introduce Dr. Stapleton, and I don't know what more I can say about it. I can't believe you guys actually let him teach classes too. But he is a real treasure. And over the last year that I've been on this job, he has become a real champion and a real advisor to us on how we can expand our opportunities to do what we do with business development and entrepreneurship. And this region is lucky to have Dr. Stapleton and what he brings to the table. He was a business owner, he was and still is an entrepreneur, and that is a good thing. And Dr. Dobbins, you all were very smart to have him leading your efforts on entrepreneurship. Thank you for letting me play a small role. Dr. Stapleton, come and tell everybody the details.
Well, good morning, everyone. And thank you again for being here. It's always a pleasure and sort of a challenge to follow someone as energetic and excited about small business and entrepreneurial development as Chairman Massengale. We want to thank him again for his continued support. The program we're going to talk about a little bit today, actually, without the support of the Delta Regional Authority several years ago, would have never started. And so it's investments like that in programs that seem small at the time that can go on to do big things. So it's my privilege on behalf of our staff at the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship to tell you a little bit about our center and the impact of today's announcement. The Douglas C. Green Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship supports the university's strategic plan and priority to strengthen the region's stimulate local and regional economic growth and development that improves the qualities of lives, communities, and businesses in Southeast Missouri and the surrounding region. In recent years, we've grown into one of the Midwest's most comprehensive entrepreneurship-focused centers, providing a variety of academic and outreach programs focused on accelerating new venture creation and small business development, including a nationally recognized micro-enterprise training and development program, one of Missouri's top small business and technology development centers, a comprehensive business incubator, and community development programs cultivating entrepreneur-friendly communities through youth entrepreneurship education and mentorship. In the past several years, this diverse set of programs has allowed the center to assist individuals in the formation or expansion of over 300 businesses that have created over 800 jobs. As students return to campus in the coming weeks, they'll have an opportunity to choose from 8 major and minor academic programs in entrepreneurship. Not only will business students have an opportunity to learn about the entrepreneurship process and begin building an entrepreneurial mindset, students in visual and performing arts, agriculture and horticulture, biological and medical sciences, fashion and health management will have access to integrated programs that will allow them to begin thinking about how they will compete and create value in their chosen fields. In addition to these academic programs, we offer an extensive co-curricular program to provide students opportunities to network with successful entrepreneurs and participate in activities that expose them to the many successful paths to innovative and entrepreneurial behavior. Whether it's attending a presentation during Global Entrepreneurship Week, meeting entrepreneurs at our monthly Coffee with Entrepreneurs, competing in the idea or business plan competition on campus, being a member of Red Hawk's CEO, or working with a team of students to launch a business in our new startup studio, our students have a tremendous opportunity to work alongside locally, regionally, and nationally successful entrepreneurs that give them a glimpse into the real world of entrepreneurship. One of the great things about the center is that its impact extends well beyond the boundaries of the university. We have gained national recognition for advancement of a highly successful microenterprise development program. Operation Jumpstart, the center's nationally recognized entrepreneurship training and development program, has provided training, technical assistance, seed grants, and mentoring to over 750 aspiring entrepreneurs since its inception in 2006. Nearly 85% of the participants completed the program, which has led to the creation of over 250 small businesses. What's surprising about these micro-entrepreneurs is that over half of them were low income, nearly 30% of them unemployed, over 15% were receiving public aid, nearly 60% were women, more than 10% were disabled, and more than 20% of them were minorities. Even more astounding is that these new businesses are sustaining at nearly 90% after 2 years. One of the unique components of the model is the awarding of small grants through a course-ending business plan competition. To date, Operation Jumpstart has injected over $500,000 in seed capital that provides gap financing to some and complete startup capital to others. According to a recent study conducted by our Center for Business and Economic Research, the total regional economic impact of these new businesses, accelerated with the assistance of Operation Jumpstart, exceeds $30 million. The Operation Jumpstart program is producing outstanding results and has become nationally recognized for excellence in microenterprise development, particularly in rural regions. We recently entered into an agreement with the Ewing Marion Kauffman Foundation in Kansas City to become the exclusive national distributor of Operation Jumpstart First Step, an entrepreneurship training courseware system used by microenterprise development clients across the U.S. With the assistance of the Delta Regional Authority and its leadership network, we are currently implementing an SBA-funded project to increase entrepreneurial capacity in the Delta region by training a network of over 100 community and economic development agencies to implement Operation Jumpstart programs throughout the 8-state region. These programs will soon begin training hundreds of new entrepreneurs, many who are disadvantaged and previously lacked access to professional business services. One of the challenges these entrepreneurs are sure to face is access to capital. Many first-generation micro-entrepreneurs do not have the capital to launch or expand their small businesses. For some, they lack adequate credit scores or collateral required by traditional lending sources. Others are not bankable businesses because of the risk associated with startups or the relatively small amount of capital they require. With this gap in mind, we recently began looking for a partner to provide micro-lending services in Southeast Missouri and the Delta region. We were fortunate not only to find a partner, but we found the best in the business, and they're committed to providing services now in Southeast Missouri and throughout the Delta region. to tell you more about ACCION Texas and our new collaboration. It's my pleasure to introduce Janie Barrera. Janie is the founding president and chief executive officer of ACCION Texas. Created in 1994, ACCION Texas has become the nation's largest nonprofit micro-lending organization. The agency provides small loans and management training to micro-enterprises throughout Texas, Louisiana, and as you're learning this morning, the 8 states in the Delta region. As president and CEO, Ms. Barrera is responsible for the organization's financial management, oversight of its annual budget, and the development of methodology and loan delivery procedures. She has received recognition for her accomplishments, including the Small Business Administration Financial Services Advocate of the Year and the Minority Enterprise Development Consortium's Corporate Advocate of the Year. The San Antonio Business Journal listed Ms. Barrera as one of 20 defining players, people who have helped shape the city. She also has served on many national, state, and local boards, including the Federal Reserve Board's National Consumer Advisory Council. Please welcome to Cape Girardeau and the Delta region, Ms. Janie Barrera.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to see our first logo here of the ACCION Delta. You know, there's a saying, you give somebody a fish, they eat for a day. You teach somebody how to fish, they eat for a lifetime. In the work we do in micro-lending, what we help people do is buy the pond in which they fish so that they can start growing and building assets. Because it's by building assets is that how we change people's lives. And so we've been doing this for 17 years. We've learned how to mitigate risk. The average credit score of one of our customers is 580. The cutoff at a bank is 680. And we have a 92% repayment rate. We started out with a $50,000 grant for operations and $125,000 in a loan from 4 banks. And now, fast forward 17 years later, we are the largest microlender with the largest portfolio in the United States of $25 million. We've dispersed over $120 million. So what that says is that we've learned how to lend money, and we've also learned how to get it back because we have a 92% repayment rate. So if you think about all these small loans, right? The average loan size is between $12,000 and $14,000. We lend from $500 all the way up to $250,000. But really our bread and butter is those very small loans, under $50,000. And that's what we intend to do here in the Delta. We've got a great partnership with Dr. Stapleton in being able then, if his group is to work with the small businesses, provide the technical assistance, and at the end of that technical assistance, we will be able to come in, hopefully, not everybody. Now again, this is not a grant program. This is a loan program. We get grants, we lend the money out, and then we create the revolving loan fund. But with the help of the technical assistance, we hope that we're going to be able to really spread that wealth in the whole Delta area. And the way we plan to do that is with the help of our Chief Lending Officer, Bill Sabin. Bill, you want to stand? Bill is our Chief Lending Officer. You'll be seeing him more often here in the area. Actually, he's interviewing for our loan officer positions today. If you know of anyone that is interested in helping and not getting rich, because we are a not-for-profit organization, please go and talk to Bill after this. And I'd also like to introduce Veronica Flores Bariagua. She is our Vice President of Communications, and she offices, both of us, actually all 3 of us office in San Antonio, Texas. And the other way we've connected, the way we're able to connect across our boundaries, if you will, is that we don't have state lines. We don't believe in state lines. What we've done instead is we've created networks. So we actually have T1 lines between all our different cities, and then we have loan officers. And in this particular case here in the Delta, it'll be an LONE officer. Because they will be alone for a while until we can build the portfolio. Once the portfolio starts to grow, then we will be able to add more people to it. But we're doing it softly and slowly and really mechanically in terms of how we're going to be opening up our offices here in the Delta. And as the Congresswoman said, it's through innovation and partnerships that we can make a difference in people's lives. And this is a true innovative way of doing things. If you think about it, there's a study that was done by the Association for Economic Opportunity that states if 1 in every 3 small businesses in the United States were to hire 1 additional employee, it would take care of our unemployment here in the United States. So think of what this can do here in the Delta as well. There's already been tremendous success with Dr. Stapleton and the technical assistance piece of it. Now at the end of the day, after the training that happens, now there will be access to capital as well. And again, I thank you all very much for allowing us to come and being partners here in the Delta. And as we stated yesterday, I want to celebrate a year from now to come back to the Chamber and announce all the small businesses that have been helped through this partnership. So thank you all very much.
As you can see, this is really exciting. I hope that you all appreciate as well as we do how important this is for economic development in our region. I would like to comment, Chris has been here more times in 1 year than all the others have for all the years that they've been in existence. So we want to thank you very much, and the mayor will give you your tax bill later. And James, we were kidding last night. We told James that the biologists are going to kidnap him, and then they're going to clone him because we like to have another James Stapleton, and we appreciate all that you've done, James. And Janie, she didn't say this, but when ACCION was actually started, she was the only employee. So a true entrepreneur, and to help those that are in that business, we appreciate very much. Thank you. Does anyone have a question? Anyone have a question? Anyone want to apply for a job with Bill? Well, listen, thank you very much, John. Thank you very much for allowing us to announce this wonderful collaboration, and we appreciate all that you do. Thank you.